The other day, my dad and I were talking about the Disney Cruise Line, and it really got me thinking about the advantages of the Disney Cruise Line for those who are young and young at heart. My dad and I were discussing future Disney adventures, and I asked him, which one would you prefer to experience, Dad? Would it be Disney World or a Disney cruise? He thought for a moment, and his answer surprised me. After taking a second to think about it, he said, Disney Cruise, hands down. And I asked him why, and he said the Disney Cruise is just so much more relaxing than a Disney World vacation. Now, I have to say that I'm at least partially to blame for my dad feeling like Walt Disney World vacations are a little bit exhausting, because I'm the guy that gets up at 7 a.m., goes to the parks bright and early for opening stays all day, experiences all the rides, goes all over the place, walks all over, and then come back at the end of the night and just pass out from exhaustion. That is my style of a Disney vacation, and I know it's not everyone's, but I think many others have that same style. Whether that's your style or not, I have heard from several families who do feel that post-Disney World exhaustion. It's not a bad thing. It means you had a great time. Some families really like it, others don't, and that brings us to the Disney Cruise. Let's consider walking distance for just a moment, and if we take our most recent Disney World adventure, I averaged 10 miles per day. I know there are some in our Disney family who have done far more than that at Walt Disney World. I think my record is 21 miles in one day walking around Disney, but needless to say, it's a lot of walking. By comparison, on our most recent Disney cruise, the most I walked on any given day was 6.7 miles, and most other days it was under 5 miles, so it goes to show that there's a lot less walking, but that's not the end of the story. To go from your Walt Disney World resort to a Disney park, you have to get on a bus or a boat or a monorail, make your way through security, and then make your way into the park. Same thing applies if you want to do resort hopping. Maybe you hop on a monorail, then you go back into the park and you have to go back through security. There are a lot of little steps in addition to all of those miles that you walk. Don't get me wrong, I truly enjoy it. I love Disney World, you know I do. I love resort hopping, but there is something to be said about just being able to step into a location and not have to worry about transportation and going through security multiple times. You just get to sit back and relax. Now, of course, if you step off at a port, you do have to go back through security when you're stepping back on board, but that's a relatively simple step compared to the Walt Disney World security, which feels a little bit longer and more complex. And keep in mind, if you're on a Disney cruise, you technically don't have to get off at any time. I recommend it, especially if you stop at Castaway Cay, but you don't have to. You can sit back and relax the entire time without worrying about security checkpoints and transportation. You can just stay on board if you want to. Now, on top of that, if you have young ones traveling with you, this changes the dynamic completely when it comes to nap time. On the Disney Cruise Line, there's no need to step on the bus and then go back to your resort and then head down for a nap and then get back on the bus and back to security. There's no need to do that when you're on a Disney cruise because your room is always so close to you. Whether it's a nap for those who are young or young at heart, anyone can enjoy a nap, or maybe you just want to sit back and relax and enjoy a view of the sea from your room by yourself, maybe some room service as well. Your room is traveling with you and it's just a few steps away at all times. My dad just couldn't get over this fact. I've never been much for napping, but my dad really enjoys a 20-minute nap when available. When he can take it, he really enjoys it. So being right there on the Disney Cruise Line, he steps away for 20 minutes, takes a nap, he can rejoin us at any time. So convenient. Last but not least, we come to the lines. Do you remember on our most recent adventure when we were at Animal Kingdom for a rope drop on a random weekday, and the line for Flight of Passage was upwards of 2 hours long by the time we got there? It's now 8:55 in the morning. This is the line for Flight of Passage. We went all the way down, and Festival of the Lion King is right behind me. I'm not allowed to go that way because we're in Africa. That's Harambe, right there. Do you see where I am? Do you see the line? Look at this. The ride is amazing, no doubt about it, and it's definitely worth the wait. I can say that right now with confidence. That's how great the ride is. But let's say you're traveling with those who are younger, or maybe with disabilities, or those who just can't stand for a long period of time, which is totally understandable. Maybe this ride wouldn't be in the cards. On the Disney cruise, however, you never seem to wait longer than about 30 minutes. I think the longest line that I stood in was for a meet and greet for Spider-Man on our most recent cruise adventure. It was definitely worth it, and it was only about half an hour. Compared to Disney World wait times, that is nothing. Now, I know it is not a ride for that 30-minute wait. It's a meet and greet experience. I know it is. It's not an attraction. But that being said, many guests, especially those, again, traveling with younger ones or those who are young at heart or those with disabilities, can't can't wake up at 7 in the morning for the rope drop to see a new attraction that maybe will have a very long line for the rest of the day. So these are just factors to consider. Now, with all of that being said, does that mean that my new favorite is the Disney Cruise Line and I'm never going back to Disney World again? Not at all. Disney World and the Disney Cruise Line are just two totally separate styles of vacation. I love them both. I don't think I can pick a favorite. They both have my attention. The Disney Cruise Line is amazing and has that relaxation and those dining experiences that by comparison would be extremely expensive at Walt Disney World, but it doesn't have those rides and resorts to visit, so they each have their own advantages and disadvantages. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with my dad and find the Disney cruise just so relaxing because you don't have to walk and transfer between the buses and go through security over and over and over again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've never been on a Disney cruise before, let me know what you think about all of this. Does this inspire you to think about Disney cruising in the future? Perhaps that relaxation and not worrying about transportation all the time? Let me know as well. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.